In today's video we're going to be looking at Iran, and I think it's very relevant because I'm seeing a lot of emerging headlines coming out from that country. I just got a feeling that things are about to kick off, so I thought I'd make this video. And basically, first of all, let's have a look at a bit of the history of Iran. Iran is mentioned in the Bible not as Iran but as Persia or Elam, one of those two things. It is mentioned in Bible prophecy, but a lot of it has been fulfilled. Jeremiah prophesies that Elam would be conquered and then rise to power again, and that's mentioned in Jeremiah 49:34 to 39. If you read those verses, I won't put them up on the screen. And also the Medo-Persian Empire rose to power in about 539 BC, and that fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah 21:2. And Persia is also where the book of Esther and the first part of the book of Nehemiah actually takes place as well. So it has a very rich history. When you look at the map of the Ezekiel 38:39 and the Gog Magog War, you see Iran is one of the featured countries that actually is part of the Gog and Magog War, and it looks like it forms an alliance with the other countries that are mentioned, namely Russia, Turkey, and then there's mention to the south in the Ethiopia, and then Libya. These countries, they all get sucked in, don't they? And as I said before in the other video, these countries, they all share one characteristic, and that is they are not neighbouring countries whatsoever. But the recent emerging headlines I'm seeing is nuclear, and also with Saudi Arabia, they've got the new crown prince now who's started to radically change everything in Saudi Arabia. It's a Sunni Islam nation, isn't it? And most of the other countries, including Iran, are, I don't know how you pronounce it, Shiite, isn't it? Muslim. I suppose it's a rough comparison would be is comparing, say, I don't know, Catholic to Protestant, something like that. It's that sort of division, isn't it? But Iran doesn't see eye to eye with Saudi Arabia, and there's tensions rising there. And Iran does not see eye to eye with Israel at all. And that's what we are going to look at. But it looks like that the headlines that I'm seeing that are starting to come, I tell you, I looked at the pictures, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I keep saying that the Bible is coming to life, and you'll give you goosebumps when you look at it. You'll think, good grief. You can see alliances are starting to form, and all sorts of things are starting to happen, and it's happening very, very quickly as well. Like I said, the recent headline, I did a separate video on that, on the Syrian strike by the France, UK and the US that happened just over the last weekend. Things have died down again, and you know, it looks like it's just back to business as usual, isn't it? But I really honestly think there's going to be repercussions, either in the sort of terrorist form, or there's going to be something flares up indirectly in some other shape or form. So what we're going to do now, we're going to look at basically the headlines that I've seen, and a lot of these have been coming out on roughly the day I'm making this video, which is the 18th of April 2018. And all I can say is, you look at these and tell me this is not Ezekiel 38 and 39. Here's some of the emerging headlines that are coming out as we speak. This one here: will Iran attack Israel over the Syrian conflict? It's only a matter of time. And this one here: Israel hints it could hit Iran's air force in Syria. Rising tensions over Syria risk direct Iranian-Israeli confrontation. So what's going on here is Tehran will not stand idly by while Israel attacks its bases in Syria. Yeah, and you can see what's happening now. I mean, the attacks that took place, if Israel is starting to do what it's doing, and also Turkey, I remember seeing the headline, Turkey, the president congratulated the alliance for what they did and making a stand against Assad. But when you see the pictures later on, you realise that those words don't really mean that much. What are the headlines we got? Former Israeli general says war with Iran is unavoidable. Now this is on the 18th today. At 70, Israel sits atop a volcano. That's the current situation they're in. Iran's strategic decision responding to Israeli operations in Syria could lead to war. It says Iran's long-term goal in Syria is to expand militarily and economically, giving it control across the country, which will enable it when the time comes to act effectively and decisively against Israel. And then this headline here, Iran is currently under a sort of a US agreement, isn't it, not to produce weapons. It has to consult with the US, that sort of thing, isn't it? And this, the leader of Iran, he says, Iran's Rouhani, we will not wait for approval to produce weapons. Yeah. In a speech marking Iran's Army Day, Rouhani warns Western powers against flooding the Middle East with more weapons. And President Hussein Rouhani, Iran will produce any weapons we need. So that's going on there. And then we've got this headline here, will Trump be the president who gives Iran the bomb? That's the New Republic. And the headlines here, there's quite a few. Revealed Israel struck advanced Iranian air defense system in Syria. Now that is Haaretz, which is it's a sort of a Jewish paper, isn't it, basically? There's another confirmation there. Now this picture here, Iran forging united Northern Front against Israel on the eve of 70th anniversary. I did do a video on this and I did say something is going to happen. I mean, we've had the Syria airstrike, and now this picture here, if we go to the map, what have we got? This is the names that are mentioned. Persia is Iran. Rosh and Magog will be Russia. Meshech, Togarmah, Gomer and Tubal is Turkey. That is pretty much, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 countries out of about the 10 or 11 that are mentioned in the Gog Magog War in Ezekiel 38 and 39. They are all coming together. It's starting to happen now. And if we go back to the final headline, this one here, why the combined strength of Iran, Russia and Turkey may not be enough in West Asia. But look at this picture, yeah? The Iran leader, the Turkish leader and the Russian leader, all three in the same picture. The combined strength. This picture here is the beginnings, isn't it? The beginnings of Gog Magog. So what I'm saying is you need to keep an eye on, well, as I said, Turkey's important and Russia as well, we know. But you need to keep an eye on Iran. It's got a role to play, and I just thought I'd share that with you. And all these headlines, as far as I know, they've all come out in the last couple of days. And I've been sitting on this video for the last couple of weeks. I was going to do a video on Saudi Arabia, but I think, to be perfectly honest, I just did a quick one on the Crown Prince, and I think this picture here, it's giving me chills, man. This is the Bible here, isn't it? You can see it. Just read Ezekiel 38 and you see it, and you can see this alliance that is mentioned. Iran doesn't like Israel. Turkey doesn't really seem to say it. No, there's Putin, Russia, but these three have combined forces by the looks of it. And if you take the other side, you've got France, UK and the US they're going to be opposing this alliance, aren't they? Yeah, they're going to probably be backing up Israel. Anyways, this is Frank at the 12 Gates. As I keep saying, prophecy is about jigsaw pieces, and here's a load more jigsaw pieces. But as you can see, more jigsaw pieces keep turning up, and it is starting to unfold right before our eyes. Could 2018 be the year where everything kicks off? Like I said, the Syria strike, it's gone very quiet again, isn't it? Some people saying it's a false flag, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. But this picture here to me is very ominous, and with the statements coming out of Iran, we may see some problems in the next couple of months. Anything could happen, isn't it? It's like a tinderbox there. But anyway, this is Frank of the 12 Gates. Keep your eyes firmly fixed on the Lord, and as always, peace, love and joy.